Welcome back to Black Talk today, and I'm Troy. In this particular video, going to further discuss and go over some historical facts, about things related to this up and coming picture called the Woman King. And it's basically a display of the Dahomey African tribe who had a army that consisted largely of black women, African women. And that is a historical fact. Not that there weren't any men that served in this particular army, uh, but overall it was predominantly women. And I want black folks to understand, particularly black men and black women in the West, we don't got to dim each other's light in regard to our greatness. Because at the end of the day, we're two different sides to the same coin. Your advancement is my advancement is your advancement. And there's constantly this wedge that's wedged between us by exterior forces that continue to exist today. But I also want black people, particularly black Americans, to understand, don't take so much pride in what's being given to you. And think about who's giving you your history, who's giving you your pride. And like some folks say in 2022, who's giving you your flowers. And I said all that to say this: get out your feelings. Do a little research, read, get different viewpoints and perspectives on things, because just because something is portrayed to you by these platforms, these movie creators, at the end of the day, did you have a hand in it? And does it properly depict your dunya on earth? And that's very important. It's very, very important that we understand psychologically why certain movies are made, why certain things are depicted in certain ways when it comes to us. And you got to do a little history on it. And again, like I said, we don't got to dim each other light to acknowledge each other's greatness. That's been an issue way too long here in this country. Don't really know what's going on in other countries in 2022 as far as how black people feel about black people, and that there's a gender war in Jamaica or Haiti, whatever. I know here in America, we going at each other's necks, and it needs to stop. But let's get into the Dahomey tribe, because this is a tribe that you think, well, they were black women. Cool. Yes, they were. They were great. They fought against Europeans. Cool. Yes, they did at a certain time, but it did not last. It wasn't like a dynasty or a tribe that went on for millennia that represented all of Africa. It was a very specific time and place where I give it up to them. They did what they did. And they did throw Europeans off when they saw a large militia of black women were ready to get it in. The woman king, she was not the king. She was like the general of the female military who was fighting. She was not the king of the kingdom of the Dahomey tribe. I want folks to really understand that. A woman cannot be a king. Not saying you can't be great, but you can never be equal to a king. You can be a queen, but only way you can be a queen is if a man makes you that, is if a king makes you his queen. Then you get all of the powers and perks that come along with that. And I have no issue with that. No issue with that at all. The facts, the truth is the truth. But the Dahomey tribe is not who you guys think they were. They were a warring tribe that warred against other African tribes beside them. We think in America, most of us, I can't say all that, it was all kumbaya in Africa before the white Europeans came and colonized it. We was all getting along, eating grapes and fruits and high-fiving each other and progressing in history. We was warring, killing, enslaving one another way before the European white man ever stepped foot on the continent of Africa. Let's keep it 100 now. The exploitation was all European. I'm not going to front on that, where they took it globally. where they specifically said, yo, we're going to take the blacks from Africa and make them our slaves. That was, yes, all European. But let's not get it twisted here. That we was enslaving, we was capturing, we was killing, we was murdering, we was raping each other back in Africa way before the Europeans came there. It was just a way of life. Big dog eat little dog. And it's the same way today. And I'm not here trying to defend what Europeans did, but if we're going to speak honestly about this movie, and folks going to be so proud, right, about it, let's know the facts about it before we beat our chests and co-sign it. In 1818, right, Prince Magugunga in 1818 in Gizo seized the throne of his father, Angoglo, who died in 1879 after convining with Brazilian slave merchants to stage a coup against the Adadazan. When he became king, Dahomey was under the authority of Oyi Empire. The Oyo Empire was so powerful at that time, but it lost grip of Dahomey years after Gizo became king. He took advantage of Yoruba civil wars to reclaim Dahomey territories. Until the control of Oyo Empire, he liberated Dahomey after defeating the Oyo Empire in 1823. After the victory, Dahomey moved to expand the kingdom eastward. This move brought it up against the powerful Igba Abikokuta army in 1851, 1864. Yes, my African is great. My African reading of the names, the analogies is great. In the early 18th century, kings of Dahomey were big slave traders who made a fortune from the illicit trade to acquire slaves. They waged bitter wars against their neighbors, resulting in the capture of tens of thousands of prisoners who they constantly sold to Eastern European slave merchants. After another prominent slave trader, the king of Waira, now in the city of southern Benin, was also captured during one of their expeditions. Among all Dahomey kings who ruled during the era of slave trade boom, Gizo was reputed to have hunted and traded more slaves. He constantly ravaged the interior and neighboring towns to hunt prisoners. He would supply waiting slave merchants in Bight of Benin. So what do you say about that? How do you refute that? Are you in your feelings, or are you willing to face reality and the facts about the Dahomey tribe and how great they are and why this black man won't be going to see that movie? This black man won't be supporting that. The facts is the facts. Is there for you to have your own opinions about them. Whether you want to put your hand in the sand like an ostrich and be blind and not aware of the reality of what the reality and the truth is, have at it, Hoss. Do you? But I'm not going to sit here and celebrate some movie that was brought or being brought to black people because, believe it or not, white folks already know the history about the Dahomey tribe, but they're here to make a money off of your psychological insecurities when it comes to your history because you don't want to know it, you don't want to read it, and you don't want to learn it. And you can't refute it. That the truth is the truth. And the other side to this is what it does to black women in America. It further let them know, yo, we really don't need a man. We can pick up machetes and blades and fight white men and fight real men in real life and kick their ass, and let alone let you know that our feminist ideology rings true and is real, and that, yo, we can get it in just like, man, we equal to men. This is what is brought up and built and stored in the mind of a lot of our black women. And this movie assists in creating and perpetuating the very same ignorance of not knowing the truth and reality of the role that a black man and a black woman plays. Because everybody plays a role at the end of the day. And I'm not talking about, I ain't talking to no mixed breeds. I ain't talking to no mulattoes. This ain't nothing to do with y'all. It's black African. We're talking about our history. We're not talking about no pseudo history and what blended this and what blended that. This is our history. This is what happened. And for a long time myself, I was ignorant too. Oh, Whitey went into Africa and just enslaved us. Like, how they gonna go into the interior where there's nothing but us there and pull us out and put us on ships and enslave us and sail us to other continents without our assistance? We got to think about the logic and reasoning and just think. Just think. People don't even think anymore about how crazy and ludicrous that sound, that another nation of people that don't look nothing like you can go into your interior, grab what they want, take what they want without your assistance. Yes, the Dahomey tribe isn't the only African tribe that contributed to mass amounts of and millions of blacks in Africa being enslaved and brought to the Middle Passage and brought all over this world. A lot of slaves went to Central America, South America. A lot of them didn't make it to North America, while some did. Most of the slaves went to the Central America. But that's an alternative history that a lot of us don't even want to deal with, because it blows your mind, because your reality is shattered once you know the truth. Because a lot of us are going to fight back everything I'm saying here. A lot of us are going to go, yo, this is the best movie to depict black women empowerment. There's nothing empowering about this movie. I'm trying to tell you the truth. It's nothing. What's the truth is, it's really sad. It's really sad that we're willing to tell ourselves these Disney fairy tale dreams of how women were so great back then, they could become warriors and fight against men. How long did this military last? And like I said before, it wasn't just women in the military. It was the largest military that consisted and comprised of women. Do we understand the difference? There wasn't all women, but it was a large majority of women. And they fought and they died for what they believed, but they also enslaved your brethren in the same time. And then the same Europeans that they were fighting, they then started to trade with them. They tried to trade black bodies with them. And I get it, right? You know, you wanna have something to be proud and great and feel good about yourself in. And this is just another notch that you can put on a black woman belt. Further proof, we the greatest. We rule the world. You don't rule shit. You don't rule shit. People are selling you ideas and beliefs to live in your consciousness to keep us divided as black men and black women. And most of the time, they do it through the very same people that look like us. Just like it was the very same people going into the middle of the Congo, knocking your neighboring tribe over the head and dragging his ass to the west coast of Africa and allowing them to be put on them boats. There's a lot of cooperation going on there. A lot of cooperation. So I just want folks to understand the truth is the truth. Whether you view this video or it doesn't get viewed, it probably won't get a lot of views because I'm not selling you anything. I'm not promoting any kind of destruction to you. I'm not telling you you're kings and queens. I'm not doing anything. I'm speaking direct and factual about the truth is the truth. Now, it's up to you to go and do the research if you want to know the truth, or you just want to stand for anything, you fall for anything. The great Malcolm X said that. You stand for anything, you fall for anything. So what y'all willing to fall for? Y'all willing to fall for the woman king? Go ahead. I just gave y'all unrefutable facts and truth. Whether you want to go through and believe it or not, it's on you. Troy, this is Black Talk Today. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers before this year's out. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Hey guys, I'm Troy. Are you a Second Amendment advocate, or you just enjoy going to the gun range and engaging in that particular hobby and activity? Well, I have another channel called Government Issue, where I show you all my recent accessories of my firearms that I have and how to install these accessories on them, how to operate firearms proficiently, professionally, and how they operate on the field. Why don't you subscribe to Government Issue? Peace.